You ready?
Ready for what? Something that'll really hit the spot.
Always quick with a joker to light up your smoke.
It's fun and educational.
Welcome to Coffee Talk, a joint production between 3WV and Higher Education. Welcome back. It's Coffee Talk. It's been a long week, but we're back. I'm Dawn with Higher Education. I'm here with Ashley D.
Hey, hey.
Seth.
Hello.
And we got Joe back again.
Hey.
From Albemarle Cannabis now. Albemarle.
Easy for you to say.
Let's let him introduce himself. How about that?
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Joe. I like long walks on the beach and silent elevator music. No, I'm Joe with Albemarle Cannabis Company. We are a CBD and hemp retail, somewhat consulting, morphe, kind
Event.
of place. Event business, yeah. We do private parties, events. I do not do strippergrams. I got in trouble for that, so I can't do those anymore. But otherwise, yeah.
Thank you for coming back. We had such a good time with you last time.
Sure.
So today, I guess we should. What's going on in the world? Anything important? Do we care? Or can we just talk about laws?
Yeah.
Let's just jump. We could jump into it. I got no problem with that. I think this is going to be fascinating.
Yeah. No, Joe seems to have a good opinion about all this stuff.
I have lots of opinions. I don't know if any of them are right, but I have opinions. But there is that. So.
But I like to hear all opinions. So let's go for it.
Sweet. Well, what do we want to talk about? The ever-changing cannabis law in Virginia for a little while, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like it's constantly altering, and it's still a bill, so it's not even completely into law yet, right?
I thought it was signed already.
It was signed.
Oh, but it's not until July 1. It's
right. Okay.
Not in effect.
So it could technically change a little bit.
Well, it already has. Like they've already changed. Like I said, off air, I guess, is like it looks like that the number of permits is going to probably change. And I mean, I kind of foresee. Again, we talked briefly about this, I think, last time. I want to say that, the people writing these laws are doing the best that they can with the information that they have. And a lot of people, it's an unknown territory for a lot of folks. And so, I'd like to start there. I know everybody's trying really hard to make this work for the Commonwealth and for the nation as a whole. But, I do feel like there should be more insight and professionalism, if you will, in terms of like having people in the cannabis industry helping write these laws and direct people in the right way. Because again, people like us who are in the industry and do what we do, we're on the forefront. We're the ones who can tell a politician or a lawmaker, hey, here's what we see. Here's the things that are happening, and here's how you can kind of navigate through that. A good example, if I could just jump right into it, would be like, the seed thing. The seed and plant thing in Virginia, the way the law is written, you can cultivate up to 4 plants per household after July 1. But there really isn't any way to get the seeds or the plants to do so because there's no retail in the state. It is not legal to sell, quote unquote, marijuana seeds or marijuana plants. But the problem or the caveat there is that there's technically no such thing. And you're going to have a lot of mixture between hemp law and marijuana law as we move forward and try to figure all this out, where like right now, a seed is a seed. Whether it's a marijuana, if it's a cannabis seed of any type, marijuana or hemp, if you will, there's no THC in that seed, so therefore that seed is legal. That's a thing, and the same thing with a vegetative plant. When plants are small in the cannabis world, they don't really have any THC in them, so technically that's a hemp plant. And if you go and get your $150, permit from the state, which they give them to pretty much everybody. You can have hemp plants all you want. Now, as soon as they start to flower, then your THC level goes up. And then once it goes past the current 0.3, but after July 1, 1.0% THC, then it's now illegal and a problem. And so it's just a weird thing. A lot of people, I think, are going to get trapped in that because if I go out and I'm like, hey, man, I want some seed, and a buddy of mine's like, oh, I got these seeds, these are hemp seeds and whatever, and I grow them, and I'm thinking it's a bunch of hemp seed, and it goes into flower, and the state comes and tests me, and it's not. A, I just lost a bunch of money if I was planting like a large crop, and then B, they got to burn it or do whatever they're going to do to it, and it's just, it's very disconcerting, if you will, like when that kind of stuff and those problems happen. I mean, I talked to people before legalization. I talked to one the other night who's in the hemp industry, and he lost 3,000 plants in Orange last year because they tested hot. And I mean, I tend to jump around a lot, and it's a whole thing. But in the hemp world, which is again in its infancy, it's only been a couple years of legalized, hemp with the 2018 Farm Bill and all the other stuff that that Virginia passed, which is good, and indifferent. But like, there's issues in that realm as well. Like, right now for the farmer, and this is going to go into cannabis as well. If there's like a THC cap, it's the same kind of thing. But so. Right now, the farmer is responsible for maintaining a level of THC under the legal limit. So I'm a sexy beast, and I can do a rain dance all day long, but it ain't going to rain. And so basically what that means for the farmer is you have to control the rain, the sun, the deer, the rabbit, the pig, the snake, the bugs, the whatever it is, the wind, because that happened the other night. It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds here. And and they want the farmer to control that to keep the level of THC low, which is impossible. None of us can do that. But you have labs that create the products that you and I both sell, and it's really simple for a lab to dilute something to the public standard that these laws would require. To have the farmer do it doesn't make any sense because we don't have control over the environment. There's no way. Right. And yes, we can get crop insurance, and yes, certain things are bound to happen, like a windstorm or whatever.
We're about to do a video campaign for the store, and it's so exciting.
You're hiring Oompa Loompas? That'd be awesome. Are you going to dress Seth up like an Oompa Loompa? Because that would be great.
I'm too tall to be an Oompa Loompa.
Oh, we
you
can fix that.
Get on your knees.
Wow. Why do they call you dirty? Why do they call you dirty again? What was that?
Say it again. What'd you say? Get on your knees.
Get on your knees.
Well, we solved the question of why you're called dirty, so we got that out of the way. So now you have an answer now anytime anybody asks you, so that's good.
Okay.
So
you're kind of tall too, Ashley.
Oh, get on your knees, Ashley.
Oh, there you go.
There goes the red face again. All right.
I guess, wait, is a podcast covered under FCC? Are you not allowed to say? I guess we're allowed to say whatever we want. It's a podcast.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Wow.
And we disclaim all of them. We say not safe for work language at the NS.
Wait, you can't say like the F word at work? Oh my God, I'm surprised I've ever had a job. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know what? I say that all the time. I'm always saying fuck, 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 fuck.
You can't say that at work?
Well, I do. And so, so I had a coworker actually just telling me we were doing a meeting, and I just started going off, and I used the fuck word a lot. And so her husband was in the background and was like, I didn't know you could say that, like, to your boss at work. And so I'm like, well, I do.
I don't think I've ever had a job that I couldn't cuss at. I mean, like, I was a waitress really young in life, but you can't
it's
cuss
frowned
at
upon, I guess. But yeah, I'm from New Jersey originally, so I just drop bombs all the time
at higher education. I can totally cuss.
Oh yeah,
they're the coolest people there. They let me cuss whenever I want.
I
think it's
wonder
actually
why.
encouraged.
It's
probably encouraged. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if
Take
you
out this fucking pipe.
if you don't fucking cuss, I won't know what the fuck you're talking about.
This fucking pipe looks like a penis. Like, check this out.
It looks like a dick.
Yeah, we don't even a penis. That would be too politically correct.
I feel like it
Cock is
validates
acceptable
you a lot more when you use cuss words. I think it really, and I've heard that people who use them often are smarter than
I've heard that too.
Hey, all
They used to argue that if you used curse words, that it was a sign of low intelligence because we didn't have ample enough vocabulary to handle what we wanted to say. People like Jerry Springer, as a matter of fact, like to say shit like that because he's so fucking incredibly gifted. However, it turns out that psychologists have actually tested and found out that it's a sign of high intelligence. And I can tell
we use
that.
the shortest words possible to explain what we're trying to say, so we don't have to use every adjective in the English language. Right?
I look at it as, we already figured out that most people can't handle us, so we're like, look, let me dumb it down for you. Fuck. That's what you get. Fuck.
I just want to get my point across.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. I feel like people take you more seriously. You throw in a cuss word, you got their attention.
That's it. They're going to listen.
He's serious.
Oh, she's upset.
Good descriptive word.
Ooh.
All right. So since we got interrupted,
We got interrupted.
yeah.
Oompa
Yeah,
Loompa.
well, should we take
Oh,
a
the
break?
Oompa Loompa came in. Let's go find the Oompa Loompa. No. We're going to take a break.
Smoke break.
No.
We'll take a smoke break. We'll come
came
back
in for a
looking for
reason.
Oompa Loompas.
We need a video for that. We can have like
we
little
could,
nets and like run around the studio.
I
Like,
love
where's
this.
the Oompa Loompas?
We should do that. We're going to have an
we could
Oompa
go
Loompa
outside and
contest
have
in
a
the hemp
smoke break,
fields.
and we'll smoke until we see Oompa Loompas.
For the event that we're talking about, you should get a dunk tank and put an Oompa Loompa in it.
I love this.
Put Seth in it. Fuck yeah.
I'm too tall for the dunk tank.
Well,
I'm too tall and too bald.
I'm too fat, so I'm not going to fit in there either. So there's that.
It's not fun to dunk a girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dawn is kind of tiny. Like you
can dunk me. I don't mind. It'll be fun.
It'll be warm enough. So there's that.
All right. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to go outside and look for Oompa Loompas. Higher Education and 3WV's Coffee Talk.
I'm here to share my journey just for you. It all started out with the higher ed crew. Down on West Main, I was hanging with a friend when we saw the higher ed sign down around the bend. My boys said, let's check it. It could be a banging shop. When we walked into the store, man, it made my jaw drop. There were tubes and hand pipes, rigs and more. They even have a water pipe as tall as the door. Gas masks, rollers, papers made of rice. Sure-ish dish, it was a smoker's paradise. My jaw dropped, my eyes popped. Boy, I was reeling. Then the friendly shopkeep said, yo, hey, how you feeling? I said, wow, this your shop. It's really, really great. I just stumbled in, yo, man. It must be fit. You got the packs, volcano, and even the kind. Man, you know the taste can be real hard to find. You got Roar, Pulsar, and Sheldon Black. Damn, you know I'm definitely coming back. This place is cool, dope, and really nice. That's why higher education is the smoker's paradise.
Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Higher Education, Charlottesville's CBD superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher Education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend. Welcome back. It's Higher Education and 3WV's podcast called Coffee Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
We haven't changed the name yet.
We've been
doing
It's
this
still
for months.
going on.
Hence all the coughing. And the talking.
My butt hurts on this stool. We need to pad it
stand
one.
up.
I thought you said you loved the stool when
I
we
love
walked in
the
the room.
stool. I love
You need to get one of those like little pillows with the little, you know.
I know. They need to invest.
She just wants to stand up.
She just wants to bitch.
You want me to sing a song for you, like the Oompa Loompa song, while you can dance? Or something? We can go right
It
back to
makes
that.
me want to. I heard a Jody. I think it's Jody Watley in my head. I want to dance with somebody.
Wow, that's
That's an aging
that's a picker
event.
right there. That's good. All right.
When the cannabis is good, you can hear.
You're not supposed to touch the mic. Damn it. You're
I thought
taking
that
it
was
away
Whitney
from
Houston.
stuff. Yeah, I thought it was too. I didn't want to sound like an idiot
Is it Whitney
saying
Houston? I
that,
mean,
but it is. It's Whitney
It
Houston.
definitely is
It is,
Whitney,
yeah. I didn't want to say
Whitney's
And
it.
then she
dead.
met Bobby
Correct you.
Brown, and there was no more dancing. That was the end of that. So
Thank you for saying that, Seth. I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot and say the wrong thing, but I'm pretty sure that, okay.
Yeah, I know it was Whitney too.
Okay.
wait, what
Of
are we
course
talking
you know
about
it was
again? I
Whitney.
forgot.
It was like my mother's favorite song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was your mother's favorite.
That's right.
Sure. His mother. Mm.
Yeah, you like that one.
Yes,
too.
Mom.
Because you're cool like my mom.
I feel so left out all of a sudden. I'm not cool. I don't like, I want to dance with somebody. Wait, we talk about the same
Do you remember
song still?
Neutron Dance?
Oh, the Neutron Dance is awesome. That's different.
I don't know. Dance with somebody is a good upbeat.
Yeah, actually, it's not
I
a bad song.
Yeah, I like it.
Back when, pre-Bobby Whitney, she was pretty good.
Why are you talking to the back of the microphone?
Because you keep moving it on him, so he has no choice. That's all that's left.
It's all up here and my butt hurts. I'm sitting all awkward.
Maybe you should try sitting a different way.
Well, he was sitting on his foot, so he moved that, so that might help. Because having a foot up your ass while you're sitting probably isn't comfortable.
Did you really sit with a foot up your ass?
Seth's gonna
Only
kill
when
me
I'm
after this
working with
episode.
you.
I promised him I wouldn't bust his chops too much, and I think I'm all over it now. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I only work with, I only sit with a foot up my ass when I'm working with Dawn. 'Cause
Oh,
she's
snap! Oh, that's good. Get to work. All right. Anyway, so what were we talking about again? We're talking about something. Are we still talking?
Getting high?
like, oh no,
Getting high.
laws.
We did that already.
Seeds.
Seeds.
We were talking about seeds.
The future.
Oh,
Virginia.
did we get through the seed? Oh, I guess, yeah, well, technically, right. Yeah, so this going back to, did I say that already with the seeds and the plants? Yeah, there's no
I
THC in them.
know. I
Therefore,
do
they're not
kinda-
technically illegal. That's
Yeah,
right.
that
I
was a good
remember we
point.
were talking about. I do now. I remember it was farmers being responsible for the lower levels of THC, as
THC
opposed
to a lab.
To a lab, and this actually affects things even in our store now with the Delta 8. We have a fantastic supplier of Delta 8. We love our Delta 8, and then all of a sudden the isolate that came back, quote unquote, contaminated. And in our industry, contaminated means too much THC potentially. And that's
Right.
literally what this meant, was that unfortunately our Delta 8 was going to have too much THC in it, THC 9. So absolutely not. And we don't have it. So we've had to outsource and look for another place to get this Delta 8 because literally, all of this stuff is having to be destroyed or used in a different way because it's not enough Delta 9 that you'd want to use it in a dispensary in a legal state, but it's too much to be able to pass anything for CBD or Delta 8.
Right.
So now we have all these products.
And a Delta 8 discussion is a thing that we can have another 6 episodes about.
Absolutely.
I've dealt with the with Delta 8 a little bit in the Commonwealth. So because it is one of those things that, with the laws written how they are and with people's different versions of definitions of certain terms like synthetic versus organic versus an isomerization and so on and so forth, Delta 8 is seen kind of sort of as not legal by some and legal by others. But then when you ask them why, they don't know. And they say, well, we don't really know much about Delta 8. We just started hearing about it. Who sells Delta 8? And there's 13,000 stores or some crazy thing in Virginia, and they all sell Delta 8. And so, and I actually try, and I do always want to, abide by the laws as best as I can. And in looking at, I watch the interweb all the time about what states are, actually going after, say, Delta 8 to ban it. Mm-hmm. And Virginia's not one of them, and they're not going to be because with the legalization coming, it makes no sense. Right. And it is something that really helps people. So, but I know for this episode, I think we're just talking about laws, and so Delta 8's a whole nother ball of hash, wax, whatever, But yeah, so
resin.
Resin, but
concentrate.
But yeah, so I mean, and like we were saying before, in the first segment, the laws, I do feel that everybody has the best intentions in mind of making cannabis reform, and the whole equity and equality thing I think is great. I don't know that I think there's probably better ways to do that with cannabis than how it's proposed at this moment. But that doesn't mean that it's wrong or that it's bad. It's just I would have a different opinion or a different approach on how to fix that, And again, like we said, if you're expunging records, which I think is a wonderful idea because, for years we put people in jail who could have cured cancer or made a tire that doesn't wear out or some crazy thing.
Right.
And because they did something stupid for the rest of their lives, they can't get a job doing something that they're probably incredibly good at. Mm-hmm. And that's such a sad state of affairs, And so it's good that all of that's happening. And those portions of the bill I think are great. I really do. To let people out, get rid of their records, put them back, let them go back to work, let them get an education, let them have the opportunities that other people have, and try to better themselves, because I do believe that people can always change. They can always get better, get worse, unfortunately, but they can always get better too. So there's that, but so I do think that, the best interests are there, but I do think that we're going to see this bill change dramatically. So they're going to catch up. Once the Cannabis Control Board is up and active, I think that they're going to realize they're going to go, this doesn't make sense for reasons A through D, and this does make sense, but maybe in a different form and whatever. And we talked to this guy and he told us that seeds don't have THC. We didn't know that, and stuff like that. It's actually a funny note. And I'll get around it a little bit, not to mention who it was or whatever. But I had a phone call with somebody. I was trying to get a sign approved, and the sign said the word cannabis on it. And the person I was talking to said, they called me the next day, and they're like, Mr. Kuhn, we don't think that you can have this business until 2024 because that's when cannabis retail is legal. And I go, what are you talking about? They're like, well, cannabis isn't legal. I'm like, yes, it is. I'm like, do you know what cannabis means? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, cannabis is the scientific term, cannabis sativa, for all things marijuana, hemp, and the whole shebang. So cannabis is just a more eloquent way to put it. It's not like the sign's going to say, Albemarle Weed Company. I'm not going to do that. Right. So it'd be eloquent to say cannabis is a much better thing, And so and after I talked to them for a couple minutes, they were like, oh, well, we're going to have to re-review your permit then because we didn't know that that's what it meant. And I'm like, okay. And it just shows you that, even in that light, a lot of people are misinformed or not informed about what's going on and what certain terms mean. And they do want to help and they do want your best. They're trying to, keep everyone's best interest in mind. But it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for a while to figure out which way we need to go with which thing. I predict, if you will, it'll go legal July 1, and immediately after they're going to go, oops, we're going to fix this, and this. Of all those things, one or two of them, they might fix the wrong way. It might be worse instead of better. But I think you're going to have an overwhelmingly more parts of the bill that will get better over time. And so I think patience is a thing. I try not to complain about it oh, this is the most terrible thing ever, blah, blah, blah. Because, again, we're learning as we go. Like you're gonna trip over stuff. When you guys open your store, I'm sure you mess stuff up. I mean, I did.
Sure.
I did all kinds of stuff wrong, and I was like, ooh, I should have had a V8. I should have had a bong hit or whatever.
Exactly.
And then I would have done it. But yeah, so I mean, I think all that is going to come to fruition. What interests me right now is the differences because hemp and marijuana are so similar. I mean, they're identically and they look identical. They smell the same. They grow the same. So to be able to have the authority, not the authority, but to be able to have the people, really, the force to go out and regulate this stuff is almost impossible. Like 4 plants, okay, great. Only 2 of them can be mature. That doesn't make any sense. What are they going to do? Knock on everybody's door and say, hey, how you doing there, Dawn? Do you have 4 plants in your house? Can I look at them real quick? I've never seen a cannabis plant, but I want to tell you if 2 of them are mature or not. It doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's never going to happen because no one has the workforce to do that.
Right.
I mean, it's not a thing. And so things like that, I think, will go to the wayside. But again, with hemp, like I'm about to go plant, 20,000 plants this year of hemp for different clientele that we have through Albemarle Cannabis and the other business that I have, the services business. So we're going to plant all these plants, and they're hemp plants. But so with marijuana going legal, are they going to freak out and be like, oh, are these all marijuana plants? But they're not going to ever be able to tell because it's in veg. So by the time they go, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't, it seems like a large waste of money.
We have found,
to me.
Since we started, I mean, it's been years now, but we've obviously carried the CBD, and we had customers early on who would get in trouble for other reasons and end up having the CBD on them. And the police would take it from them and, we're like, well, it's marijuana. And they'd go to court and we would have to assist them. Some of them, one in particular, ended up getting an attorney.
I heard about this with you guys, actually.
But we ended up having to go to the local area police stations with our CBD, with paperwork showing them in order to prevent the local police departments from actually going after people because they just don't know.
Right.
They're not listening. And when you're already in trouble for something else, because, like it or not, they didn't get pulled over just for the CBD.
No, you were speeding.
You were speeding. You were already doing something else.
Yeah, pounding a bottle of Jack while you're driving or something stupid, right?
The cops were called at your house because there was domestic violence and they saw this. So the cops are already heightened to you.
Right.
And now they don't know that they want to believe anything you say.
Right.
So in that moment, they're not listening to you when you say this is CBD, this is CBD. They have no,
Right.
And so we went to these police stations, local area precincts, and tried to talk to them with CBD in hand and paperwork. And I think it has helped.
It definitely has helped because I've done the same thing.
I was wondering when Joe was talking, I was like, well, what if they do just pull you over and bust you? Like, how do they know?
Well, after July 1, the smell of marijuana is not probable cause. Okay. They smell marijuana and they pull you over. They cannot. That's not a thing. It's not probable.
Well, I've moved here from out west, and skunks die a lot in the road here. And when I first started smelling dead skunk,
smell.
me too.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
That's dirty too, but man, I love it. It's great. I ran over one today that was already dead. I was like, here it comes.
Roll the windows down. Get a big old snit. I love some polecat.
So it's interesting what you just kind of went into. So there's 2 things. So one, early on for Albemarle Cannabis, like when I first started, the law was really gray about putting flower in stores. And I went to a store in particular, and the gentleman was like, I would love to sell it, but I don't know, is ABC going to come after me? They're going to take my liquor license? They're going to shut me down? Am I going to go to jail? And I'm like, no. So what I ended up doing, because the law was very odd, I started giving all the store clerks an agent form, which is a form that you can get from VDAX. It says that, this person, you, the store owner, is operating under my permit of the hemp that I grew. And that was like a way around it. But after a little while, the police started calling me out, not all of them, but it was out in the county, I was the weed man. It was the funniest thing ever. Like, oh, yeah, you're the weed man. We've heard about you. And I was like, awesome. And so, but educating them and letting them know who you are, it really does help, The funny thing, going back to the arrest and stuff, like there was a girl that bought a 2-pack of pre-roll flower from me. And she got pulled over and they found it. And they did the roadside test and it was fine. Right. And they let her go. But then they took the stuff back and they had the test, whatever. The next day, the same police officer ran into the girl again. He goes, hey, I just want to let you know that hours later, it tested hot. It tested as marijuana. And she looked at me and she's like, is that a thing? I'm like, absolutely not. You can't test something today. It's like taking the pH of a pool. You stick the thing in there and it says it's 6. If you put it out in the sun for 3 hours, it's going to tell you it's like 47. It's going to change over time.
Right.
And so that was the only time I've ever heard that. I haven't really heard of any other incidences where people are really getting, shaken down for hemp stuff. Not too. I mean, I've heard some of the things from you guys, in the past. But I think as we're moving forward in the last year, especially, and I think COVID helped with that too. Actually, is people are, the police are like, I've talked to police in this area. They don't want to arrest people for marijuana.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
And I had a guy the other day. He was like, I wish people would understand it's our job. He's like, none of us want to do it, and they all say the same thing. They say, anytime there's a problem, the marijuana people are the ones who are the coolest and the easiest to deal with because they're just like, sorry, like, we don't think we're doing anything wrong. Here you go. They're not like, tweaked out or doing whatever, or beating up their wife or whatever.
Right.
It's not, or their husband. I know because Seth probably gets beat up by you all the time. So, I had to throw that one in there. I figured I'd give Seth another zing or a foot up the ass.
And physically.
Hey, Don, what size shoe do you wear? Just out of curiosity.
It used to be a 7.5.
Oh, you're not wearing shoes. Seth, would you like to comment about that? Anyway, but I do think, again, I think the whole thing about this discussion is just talking about the positivity that is coming. And even though there's going to be pitfalls and there's going to be trip ups and there's going to be stuff that we don't like, it's still going to be an industry that's going to continue. And I know that we're going to get a new governor, and we don't know what that means. But, just like everywhere else, Pandora's box has been opened. You're not going to be able to go backwards. We're not going to go back through another prohibition.
Right.
I think the country would freak out if they try to do that, at least for the states that are legal already. There was actually an article, and it's interesting to think about it because there was an article I was reading in one of the Cannabis Times magazines or whatever that I get, publications, and they were talking about, is it better to decriminalize or is it better to legalize? Because there is a thing there. Like, which is actually better? Because it depends on what the actual people at the end of the chain, like us and customers that we deal with, what happens to them? And so sometimes, like in legalization, it appears that sometimes in legalization, the penalties aren't any different than if it was decriminalized, or they're worse. It's just a weird thing,
Right,
It's just like, but again, I do think that over time, it's all going to be fine. We just go like that, and we're good. I don't have any water sounds. I go, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that. So, but there you go. See, that's close. But yeah, so I do think, I would love to be, one of the things I would love to do moving forward, honestly, is I don't want to move to Richmond, but I would love to be a part of that board. Or I'd love to be a part of a lot of boards and be like, look, I just want to be someone who's here. I don't have to make the decision. I don't have to sign the paper, but I want to be here and be like, look, you just said this. I'm going to tell you from experience, that's not going to work. And here's why. You either take what I say with a grain of salt or you listen to whatever it is, but I think that that's an important part of actually all politics, really, if you think about it.
Yeah,
any kind of law,
absolutely.
is have somebody in the room that you can at least bounce it. Hey, man, like, we're thinking about doing this with this law. What do you think? You've been in this before, whatever. Right. Oh, well, here's what I think. And then you can actually have like an educated adult conversation about how to make something better for everybody and not just for one group of people or another.
And not just cut and dry. It's got
right. Because nothing is cut and dry. There's no such thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, think about paint, cut and dry. How many shades of white are there? Like 400. I mean, every color there is. Like, how many shades of red? How many shades of blue? There's just, it's not. It's easy. Like, I need blue paint. Well, there's no such thing as blue paint. There's like aquamarine or like whatever it is. So, to have somebody in the room to help you kind of do these laws, I think is really instrumental. Yeah. So that's all I'm trying to say.
I agree.
Absolutely. So give us a second as Seth, Ashley D, and I take a little coffee break. We'll be back.
CBD.
We will help you with your anxiety. We'll pick you up when you're feeling low. And nothing costs a pocket full of dough. Relax your body, free your mind. Higher Ed is the place to find.
CBD.
Let us help you with your anxiety. Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Just call to place your order at 434-293-HUFF. Higher Education, Charlottesville's CBD Superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher Education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend. Be careful and smoke at home. And remember, share the experience, not the pipe.
Higher Education is still open, so come in.
Best prices, best selection, most knowledgeable. Higher Education, Charlottesville CBD headquarters.
Welcome back to Coffee Talk. We're back from our break. As far as the law thing goes, I mean, technically that's the way it's supposed to work, right? Is like when they come up, I mean, this never works in our society at all. But like, the school board is created so that people who actually know something about the school do research and make laws. And yet, think about what they've done during COVID in the last year and a half. They, half of these people don't have children anymore. They have no idea what distance learning does to kids. Now they're asking teachers, to do things that they wouldn't otherwise be doing. Like, you're supposed to somehow notice if the kid is sad or not home, doesn't have people home while you're watching their face on a video from, fucking across the county.
I have a kid in middle school and I have a kid in grammar school. And halfway through all of this, only one of them can go back to school for a couple days a week.
Yeah.
So when and that's the older one.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So he's in school. So what do I do with the young one if we have jobs?
Right, right.
So, what do you do? And the answer is, well, we don't know. Do whatever you got to do. And we're like, okay, like, how is that? I don't understand how that's a thing.
Well,
like,
and Seth has a daughter, and she's in high school. And we heard that they were, like, letting kids back. But they didn't ask the parents. They asked the children if the kids wanted to go back or not. Now, what?
Yeah, are they paying the bills?
Who the fuck are you at? Why are you asking a 16-year-old what they want to do? It's not their concern. It's
my 11-year-old actually said yes to that question. He's like, I definitely want to go back. I'm going to kill my parents soon, so I got to get out of here. Like, it was a
absolutely.
thing.
But I think when you get into high school, like
I
high
don't
school,
necessarily think that I think the parents should be the ones who are asked. I mean, at the end of the day, we are responsible for these little people. So we are the ones who should be responsible for making these decisions. The children should not be thinking that they had these rights to make these decisions.
No, they're children. They shouldn't have to do that.
Yes,
Right.
yes. I mean, that's above their pay grade.
Well, and that's the thing with COVID and kids too. Now we're like now we're doing a educational an education podcast all of a sudden. But these kids are stuck at home all the time, and it's definitely gonna warp some minds. Like, it's just not. It's like, I feel bad. Like, my 11-year-old, he's starting puberty. Like, he needs to go and hang out with people his own age, like females, males, whatever. He just needs to be around other people to learn how to be socially. Not acceptable, but just to be social.
Yeah,
really. That's really all it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, they're like at home and they're like,
you have to learn to
I'm going to play my Switch, and that's all they do. And
absolutely. I mean, I have a 21-year-old, and his 21st birthday hit during COVID, and he was like, great, woo,
That's
Now I can go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
Now
it's closed because of
everybody
COVID.
else.
Damn it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been miserable. He is, and so
that's
all these,
ruined for him forever because I had a great 21st.
Right.
I don't
And
remember
you
mine,
always
so it
look-
must have been great. I don't know.
right. I mean, there's these certain times in our lives, like Seth's daughter's going to be missing her junior prom. Because there's no junior prom. Your kid's missing puberty.
He also
kid's
missed
missing his
graduating from
21st.
elementary school, which I don't know if that's
Or
really
just
a thing.
graduating
but
in general.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my friends' kids missed graduating from, high schools. And I'm like,
Prom,
wow,
no prom, yeah.
I mean, senior year in high school, that seemed like such a big deal. I mean, no matter what, it was such a big deal to all of us back then. And,
Right.
and they're missing all these amazing things, and it's kind of sad. And then the other end of it is older people, and they're missing their end of life care because no one wants to be around them.
Or
not
they
to be
go,
rude,
or they're in
and-
end of life care and they get sick with COVID because it's just so
Right. I mean, and they're pushed. They're I guess the depression levels, or they're being pushed because if they can't see anybody, it's going to destroy you. I mean, you're a senior citizen, you don't get out a whole lot, and people aren't coming to visit you anymore because they're like, oh, I don't want to bring grandma anything, sickness wise. And depression is going to lead these old people to not take care of themselves,
and cannabis helps with that too. Because again, like we said in the last episode, I've been noticing a lot of older people coming and asking and inquiring and wanting to try different stuff. And I think that the depression and anxiety, that is the number one, when people come up and they're like, tell me about CBD, I have terrible anxiety, or tell me about CBD, I'm depressed all the time. What do you have anything that can help me?
Yes.
And that is a thing, I'm of the thought myself that, if you look at mental health problems in history, that curve shoots up real quick when the onslaught of technology runs. Now, I love technology. I love playing with my phone and all that other stuff too, like everybody else, but we're not meant to move this fast. We're not meant to do 16 reports a day.
Yeah.
We're not meant to have 4 jobs and run around like crazy people and like never have a moment to breathe and do anything else. I don't think people are made to do that.
We're also not meant to be notified every, minute about people trying to get
I
in
don't
touch
think
with
we're
you.
supposed to
think
be
you get
sitting down.
distracted.
I remember the days when there was no cell phones, and if you wanted to find me, you couldn't. It was awesome.
Well, so that goes back to the beginning of this podcast where I'm getting messages, for work stuff, and it's taking
Bing,
my attention.
bing.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Stop
Notifications.
That, stop that. Can I just do this one thing that I'm doing?
Right. Notifications.
we do
45. Went to the bathroom this morning. Great. Oh, that's awesome. Let me just
Yes.
get rid of that.
Is that what
Okay.
you're eating? Excellent. I'm so happy to see what you're
That's
fucking meal
that
is.
steak looks wonderful. Great.
So back to what you were saying, Joe, about the shift and older people coming in to get cannabis. I really love this shift because I'm so against being medicated by doctors and they're just popping pills to you or giving you pills to pop.
Yeah.
So I feel like too with the COVID, people are going to doctors less because of the protocol and stuff. So yeah,
and there's an
definitely
issue there
see
too.
that.
Like I've had the same family doctor for the whole time I've lived in Virginia, and they don't do medical. They don't do medical marijuana, and in this area, a lot of them don't. There are some, but there's not many. And I think that's another thing is with education, with them learning, like in medical school, learning what it is, or like having like now marijuana is legal. Here's why. Doctors go to this conference and figure out what the deal is, and then they'll be more on board with giving people, cannabis as a medicine.
Yeah.
My father has Agent Orange poisoning from Vietnam, and he was taking like 40 pills a day. And it was like 2 pills to fix something and 17 pills to counteract the side effects of the 2 pills he was taking. And so
that's
over
not
time,
good.
and he was like, oh, I'm going to lose my VA benefits. I can't try cannabis. So, once the VA actually came out and said that you will not lose your benefits if you test for marijuana, he was like, sweet. But he didn't want to get high. So I started giving him CBD, and those 40 pills went down to like 22.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's a true thing. And to this day, he calls me once a week. He goes, can you send me more of them gummies? I'm like, sure. And they're in Florida. So I've learned really quick that gummies and shipping are it's not a great thing. So you have to
They
pack them in
melt, yeah.
ice. I use ice packs and sandwich them in there and like wrap it with a bunch of stuff. And then hopefully I'm like, please don't melt before you get there.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
My father has stage 5 kidney failure, and he has got a whole jar of pills a day. I just did his little pill box for him, and it's the same thing. He takes a ton.
That's depressing in its own right.
It is. It is absolutely.
2, like, oh.
And we, he has been staying at my house recently. He got he was in the hospital, and he just needed a little, help, I guess. And I smoke, and he pointed out to me that he thinks he was getting contact buzzes.
Nice. That's awesome.
But since
Did you feel better though? I bet you did.
Since he's been at my house, he hasn't taken a single painkiller. So he's taking his medicines, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, dialysis medicine, whatever the fuck these things are. There's 1,000 of them. But there has not been a single medicine for pain. Not once. And, and it's not just been the fact that he's smoking with me. I also have a thing about ice cubes on the back of the neck. Just an FYI out there. If you ever have a headache and you can't smoke, whatever, take an ice cube and put it on the base of your neck on the back for 15 minutes and your headache will go away.
Wow.
So...
Nice.
Just, if you
Constricts the blood flow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like drinking caffeine. Caffeine's good for headaches too because it constricts the blood flow. Therefore, the headache goes away.
See, I just thought it was withdrawal from the caffeine that caused.
I just thought I was being hungover all the time, which is also my problem. So
Yes.
there's that. But yeah.
But he's been, so much just calmer, we'll say. He's not as anxious. I mean, he's been so anxious because, going to dialysis makes you anxious. All these things makes you so anxious. I mean, and honestly, I think, hitting the pipe just a little bit here and there, he has just chilled that much more than I think he has been able to chill in forever and ever. And I think it's a wonderful thing. And
I have
in his
anxiety
70s.
really bad. I've had it for most of my life. And I took Klonopin every day. And now I don't.
Yeah.
And it's not even from smoking weed. It's taking CBD. I'll take a shot in the morning. Like before I came in this morning, I was like, oh my God, is Seth going to yell at me when I get there? Actually, I never said that. But I woke up and I was like, I'm going to give myself something, to basically try to calm down because I'm a lunatic all the time. But, but then I do that in the morning. I do it at night. And I sleep better. I wake up refreshed. I, the anxiety, I still get it sometimes, but it's no longer, stage 40. It's like more like a 5. It's definitely way less. And it really works for everybody, and it's funny when I first started in this industry, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a placebo. People just think that it works. I'm like, okay, well now I've done 4,000 sales in my career so far. And I've had one person say it didn't work for them.
Right.
So if that many people, if the placebo is that strong,
that's a good placebo.
Great. It's like taking a water pill. Like the water pill works for you. Awesome. Do you feel better? It doesn't matter. Now I'm not saying that it is a placebo. I'm sure there might be some degree of it, but the placebo to me is not necessarily a bad thing because it does make you feel better, and that is the goal.
It's your mental
anyway.
state. Yeah.
Sure. You're not going to believe something works.
Sure.
Something's not going to work if you don't believe that it's going to work.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. We hear it all the time. Does it work? Does it work? And so my dog, I love my dog. If you've been to higher education, you guys have all met Juno. She's like the most beautiful Rottweiler you'll ever meet because she's perfect and I love her. But it turns out that she has a little bit of an issue with her hip, just a little tiny one. And it makes her limp sometimes.
Oh, I've got a story like this for you too.
And this makes me so sad. It makes me so sad because I love my baby, but she weighs 100 pounds, so I can't carry her. So we got to make the hip work. And I give her CBD, local CBD as a matter of fact, in a tincture. And first of all, it tastes good enough that my dog laps it up, which, given that she eats raw meat, I'm pretty impressed that she's willing to lick this stuff up. But she does. And the inflammation goes down. And as long as I remember to give her CBD every day, which, that's a mom problem, she doesn't limp. She doesn't limp, and she's fantastic. And she can't be using this as a placebo because she's
a dog.
A dog.
And so
technically, she does not know that this is going to make her better.
Yeah. And so I have the same thing. I have 2 dogs, and one of them is a black lab border collie. Are you having a problem over there?
You're not supposed to move. Isn't that
you're
the
supposed
rule?
to sit
Damn
down.
it.
You're like hopping all over the place. Did you smoke a sativa this morning? Like, what's the matter with you?
Is it time for another break?
But anyway,
Yes.
so quickly then, I have 2 dogs, and my black lab border collie, who's now 13, when he was a puppy, he messed up his growth plate. So he always had a little bit of a hip problem. And then I got a old English bulldog named Rosie. Her pet name is Miss Mess because she's a mess. She ran, when she was a puppy, she ran at Bear playing full speed with her giant noggin and hit him in that leg and shattered his knee. And so we went and had pins and poles and all the screws and all that stuff put in his leg. So he's like the bionic dog. And the doctor was like, oh, he has no pain. He'll be totally fine. Do this PT and the dog will be great. Dog was never great. The dog would pick up that rear leg and just walk on 3 legs. So his spine, if you can visualize this, his spine was curved because he's leaning to one side. And we had him on gabapentin and all this stuff in the vet, and it was costing us a buttload of money. And one day I was like, screw this. I'm going to stop doing this. So I took him off of gabapentin. I gave him the dog treats that I do. We give him, it's a lady in Richmond that makes them for me. They're wonderful. But we give him 3 a day. 1 in the morning, 1 midday, 1 at night. And that dog walks on 4 legs. Does he limp? Of course he limps. But now that foot is on the ground, so his spine is a lot straighter, and he's a lot happier of a dog. And I wish I had the before video to show people the after video, because some people are like, oh, that's BS. That never happened. It is what happened. Yeah. That dog walks on 4 legs, which he didn't do for 2.5 years.
That's awesome.
So, it's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely amazing. At some point, my grandfather was in his 90s, and he walked like a 90-year-old man with that hunched over back look. And he, I didn't bother to tell him it was CBD that I was giving him, and we rubbed it on him. And suddenly, he was like half as hunched as he was. And as long as we did it, he actually wasn't fussing and would walk around the house and not complain. But, he didn't realize it was CBD because that would have never worked. If I had told him that I was giving him anything like that, he would have been like,
"Get that hippie shit off of me."
Yeah, exactly.
Was that patchouli in that bottle?
Exactly. I don't do drugs, Dawn. I don't do them drugs, Dawn.
Well, if you rub them on your body, you're not technically doing them.
Exactly. That's why I love acid so much.
Stop.
I don't do acid. It falls on my skin.
Yeah, I know what I was talking about. Yep.
All right, so do we?
So it turns out I need a break because I'm hyper.
I'm running out of things to say. I don't know what else to say.
Well, so I was gonna suggest that went fairly long and was super informative. Do we just want to
split it in half?
Call it
No,
a
do we
show.
just want to call it a show? And
All right, we're done talking to you guys.
I was going to say,
so we'll be back in
I
another
don't know if
week.
Seth knows this, but CBD is really good for hair growth. I was going to let him know that. But
I heard that it stimulates.
You're a
hair
liar.
that's why you had me on the
I
show.
have tried that.
all right, well, let's.
Well, thank you so much for coming and seeing us again, Joe.
Sure.
Is that right? Is your name
Anytime.
Joe?
Yes, my name is
Yeah.
Joe. How long have we been doing this now? Come on.
I was like
she's very
unicorn,
forgetful.
and I in my head I saw.
Unicorn.
I know, but I put Joe and that together, and it almost came out as John because the end of Coon.
No.
That makes absolutely
No.
no. I think we need a smoke break. That makes no sense
N.
whatsoever.
Isn't there an HN at the end?
There's an HN at the end, but how is
Right,
that?
so
oh, John.
John.
I got
John.
it.
See? You became John.
Became John.
I saw.
Can I use that the rest of today? Because when I answer the phone, I'm going to go, hey, this is John, and people are just going to hang up on me, so I have to talk to them for the rest
Isn't
of the
that
day.
awesome? I'm Angie.
Angie?
I'm
Angie?
Angie.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Joe's not here today.
Sorry,
Joe's
John's not
today.
here.
This is John.
Yes. I do that
May
all
I
the time.
help you?
Yeah,
I'm
what
sorry.
is this in reference
Don's
to?
not here. This is Angie.
could be like
Sure,
an
I can
asshole to people
totally
all
take
day.
you a message.
I could be an asshole all day. Like, yeah, Joe's not here. This is John. What the fuck do you want?
Yes, isn't that awesome?
And the more I'd be like, I'm so sorry that John, you talk to John. He's kind of difficult sometimes. I might have to use that like once a week now. There's days where I don't want to use a phone. I don't want to think about hemp plants or pot plants for like at least an hour. I just need it to not be in my brain.
People will not question you because it's
No,
such
they
an
won't.
unsure thing when you're on the phone. And
I'm
it's
sorry,
like,
who am I talking
yeah.
to?
Yeah. It's totally true. I have pretended to be Angela for years.
I think I'd rather go with Lindsay. Hi, this is Lindsay. Can I help you today?
I think I might go with Don.
Don. Ooh,
What?
that's a good Don.
I got you.
All right, now we're just gonna go.
All right.
It's been
Wait,
really
can we
nice.
talk about how you're dirty again? I still haven't gotten all that.
I think we learned that she loves skunks.
Yeah.
I think Ashley
That makes
Dirty's
her
going to
dirty.
show us how she's dirty.
Uh-oh.
No.
Stay tuned for next week when we add a video camera.
All right.
All right, so we're signing off. Thank you for coming. Thank
Yeah,
you,
you
Seth,
got it.
for being here. It was nice seeing you. Ashley, it's always a pleasure. Bye-bye. Oh, and visit us at Higher Education, 619 West Main Street, Charlottesville, Virginia, or 2307 West Carey Street, Richmond.
I went to the Carey Street one. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have
And
been to
it's-
one here, too.
It's
Just
a little
saying.
bigger.
It is a little bigger.
It's a little bigger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want bigger, but they're not. The walls aren't falling.
The jokes are just coming through me
I know,
right now. I
bigger.
got to stop.
All right. Bye.